Yeah, so before starting this today's agenda, so let's try to recollect it what we were understanding, and then we go ahead to continue to the data types which we are trying to understand that. Yeah, yesterday, if you try to quickly recollect that, the integer data type which we are understanding. So let me show this quickly. Yeah, integer you can define in this format, or you can use it underscore also while defining that integer, but both are the same. And then we are understanding that scientific notation, that is about, as we know about it, like a E, that is a 10 power of that and a number. Yeah, so the number in the 10 powers, if I'd like to define that, we can use it, scientific notation. But what is the difference between the plus and the minus is? So minus is, that is 1 divided by, so minus represents divided by. So that's so suppose the 3e4 is nothing but that is 3 into 10 power 4. Like there's 3e minus 4 is nothing but 3 into 1 divided by 10 power 4. That is in the decimal representation, we can say that. Yeah, that is something which we are trying to understand it. And then octal numbers, hexadecimal numbers. Yeah, octal, how do we represent? That is a 0. And then second letter should be either caps O or small o. So this is the octal representation of this number. And hexadecimal number, how do we represent this in the Python? That is 0x. Either small x or caps x, which you can use it, that represents hexadecimal number. But what exactly this hexadecimal number is? That is, yeah, the left, I mean, the right to this left, it is going to start it, and which uses, so 16 power 0, 16 power 1, 16 power 2. So like this, it is going to continue that from the right to left. And if it is octal representation is nothing but, so it is also like as the right to left, but 8 power 8. Yes, this is the first position, 8 power 0, second position, 8 power 1, third position, 8 power 2. And that number into is current, the value of that number. Yeah, hexadecimal, I mean, the total, if you just talk it, this is the decimal representation. So decimal is 10, 10, right? 10 is the representation, 10 point of view, 10th position. And if you go for this octal, so which represents 8, hexadecimal 16. Like that, we have one more format, binary format also. Maybe if you are good with that, like in academic career, understanding that, I mean, all these, yeah, so in that, like, I mean, in our academic career, we have this, that is a binary representation, octal representation, hexadecimal representations. In our maths, they're all right, like the computers, maths itself, right? Yeah, so this is the explanation which you are observing here. So how that will be represented in the hexadecimal. And then we're talking about it, different operators also. Yeah, there are the different operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So this is which we can say that scientific division. So this is about decimal representation. Yeah, so and then like a modulus, and then what else? This one, the power of, right? The power of the notations. Yeah, there are some symbols which you are trying to understand that. And zero division, you cannot do that with the zero division. And yeah, the power of, and then assignment and reassignment of the variables, the values, and the mathematical representations, instead of using that age equal to that variable plus 5, the same variable you can use it reassignment. This one we say that reassignment. Age plus or equal to 5 is nothing but age equal to age plus 5. Like that, we can represent yeah, division or multiplication, modulus. And yes, the plus operator we are understanding in the strings also, that is for the concatenation. Yeah, plus is nothing but that is concatenating one string with another string. Yeah, the plus operator in the arithmetic we can use it, and as well as in the string also we can use it that. And asterisk also we can use it in the numeric and as well as in the string also. But what is the meaning of here? It is nothing but so 5 times of this string. That is, it is going to repeating that RNS like that 5 times. Yeah. So these are all some points which you are trying to understand it. Yes, are you good with this? So please confirm that. Have you practiced all these things? If you are good, then we'll continue to the next point. Type that everyone, I'm good or I have practiced. If you understand it, type that the good. And if you have practiced, type that I practiced. Which category you belong to that? Type this in the chat window quickly. Most of that like I'm good. But I see this one of the response that is I have practiced. Okay, that's great. I am good. Okay, fine. So let me continue to this next the activity. So within, I mean, now, so if you go for this integer data type here itself in the assignment section, so here, if you observe that age point of view, age variable, we are assigning the value. So we are assigning the value, or we can say this variable declaration. So we have declared the variable and we have assigned some value to this variable. But the point is, suppose if I run this program, okay, so it is giving that output and I mean executing what all the statements we have defined and it is giving that output. But the point is, user would like to enter his age. Instead of hard coding the 30 value here, so maybe one user is having the 30, another user is having that his own age. I mean his age. He has to enter his age. But if you hard code like this, so whenever you run the program, always it is going to take the 30, right? But instead of hard coding, that's the value of this variable. I would like to take the value of this variable from the user. And that means, so suppose if I'm going to run this program, so it has to ask my age. Or if you run this program, the U, so then it has to, I mean, you need to enter about your age. But we don't want to touch that, the code. Without touching the code, whenever I run that, the program, it has to prompt for the age. So we can say this one is user inputs. The variable values instead of hard coding within the program. So whenever you are running the program has to prompt for the user yes, inputs. So that is the next thing we are going to talk it. One more important thing, that is inputs. How do you pass that inputs to the program? So let me shut down this program which is running. There's no more required. Let me create one more notebook. What's happened? Let me refresh this. No such directory. Now, what is the concept we are going to talk about? That is understand that. So yesterday we were hard coding that within the program itself. So within the program, the value of the age. But now, So instead of hard coding that, okay, what is that? The program. Let me take it this code. Not simple. Okay. Any one of that. Yes, I need this. Yeah, now here we have a hard coded, but instead of hard coding that, what we need to do that is we need to ask the user input. Let me define that. Print, enter your age. So this is the line we are expecting. Yes, enter your age. Then user has to enter that his age. Instead of hard coding here, we need to take from the user. So here, what is the function that is inbuilt function that is available to take that from the user input is input function. Now, if I run this program, now you see this, so it is printing that you enter your age, and the input function is interactive. You see that? So here user is interacting with this program. Now interpreter is waiting background. This Python process is waiting for the user input. Yeah, now if I enter that the value of age, yes, it is trying to print it that. So yesterday's this problem, yeah, if you just observe that this program is we have hard coded here, that means all the users, 100 users are executing that, all the users, the age is 10. But here, if I share it to this program, so whenever that user is running the program, so that to that user, it is asking that, yes. So enter about your age, and whatever the age he is going to enter that, then it is going to return that value. Suppose if I enter that 25 and enter it, then it is going to return that. So age is 25. So even you can write it more. Age is, and yes, that is more clarity. So if I give the 25, then age is 25. Are you clear about this? So program whenever we are designing about it, so on the base of the user, these variable values, is it required within the program? Do we need to define it? This is the within the program we have defined the value of the variable. Or the value of the variable, do we need to take it from the user? So this approach is, so it is going to ask the user, and user whatever the value he is entering that's it is going to assign to this variable, and you can use it, this variable within the program. So two inputs we are talking that. One is within the program, the value of the variable, and the second one is from the user input, you can take that value and you can assign that value to the variable. Remember that there are all the ways of passing the values to the variables within the program, and second approach we are talking that through user input. Is it clear about this point? So here, which function we are using that? Inbuilt function. The new function which you are understanding, input. Yeah, now here, how many lines I have written for this? 3 lines I have written. As a developer point of view, always we need to think it that minimizing the number of lines. Suppose if I get the task I can complete it by writing the 15 lines. Suppose same task, maybe other developer, he should have completed within that's like a 10 lines only. But which one is optimized? 10 lines of the code or 15 lines of the code? Suppose I have implemented within that with 15 lines. And other developer, same functionality, has implemented that with 10 lines. So which one code is optimized? Is it developer 1 or developer 2? So what is the best approach is? So minimize the number of lines in the programming. Now here we have defined that. So he is asking the same, that like a printing, enter about your age. Otherwise, suppose if I remove this line, user cannot understand it, right? So what is the value he has to enter it? He doesn't know that. So we need to use that variable. Then only the user can understand that. Okay, so I need to enter the age. What's happened? Let me run this. Why it is not? Oh, what's happened? I just removed it and re-entered. So it is. Let me re-enter once again. Already in the running process. Let me. Yeah. Oh. Maybe that process was a hang. That's why it is not responding. Yeah. Now the point what we are trying to understand is minimize the number of lines. So that is recommended. But how do I minimize that number of lines in a program? So now, okay, I need that same output. But here 3 lines. But can I reduce those 2 lines? Yes, we can reduce that. So instead of using the print argument here, input itself is having that, the where you can pass that, the message to the user. Enter your age. Yes, whatever I'm using the print, yes, you can use the print also, no issues. But input function itself is having that prompting the message to the user. Let me stop it and let me run it also. Yeah, now see the same message, that output is the same, but now it has been reduced to 2 lines. But here the point is, how do you know about it? My input function is having the argument. So here if we just observe that, input function is having that argument, right? You can pass that message to the input. Yes, input is whatever the message you have given that, yes, it is going to give it to the user and it is waiting for the input. Yes, once the user has entered, now whatever the value we have entered, that value is assigning to this variable. It is storing in this memory. And whenever you use it, this variable, you are getting back that the value from the memory. Is it clear about that? The input function? The simple, straightforward. But why we are discussing this input function is, okay, now yesterday we are understanding that like integer related some operators. There is a plus, minus, asterisk. Okay, now let's take it that now I'm not going to hard code the values within the program. Now I'm going to take the values which are required to perform that particular operation from the user. His calculator he is operating is nothing but, so he has to enter that values, right? That could be addition, subtraction, multiplication. Okay, now I'm going to perform some operations that is height converter. So what is the next the program we are going to take it is, so user has to enter his height in centimeters. So he has to enter that his height in centimeters, and we will convert into that feet. So this is a program which we need to implement it. But that his height, he has to enter it. Yes, first let's go for that. Okay, I'm going to take this one variable. The height in centimeters, we are going to take it from the user. So we are going to take that input from the user. So enter your height in centimeters. Okay, this is the first input we are going to take it. Oh, by mistake, I executed. But now if I enter that, okay, my the height is something 175. Then, but we don't have this output. It has just taken that and it is returned back. Now, what I would like to do that, I go for, we need to convert this one. So we need to convert into feet. How do you convert the feet? Can you give me the formula? Anyone knows about that? How to convert the centimeters into the feet? Your height in feet is, okay, so we'd like to print it, that formula here. What is that the formula? So whatever the centimeters we have, so this is the user is going to enter that, right? So that's we need to divide it. Converting into the feet is nothing but approximately that is a 30.48. Yeah, centimeters is going to enter it. Now we are going to convert into that the feet. So the centimeters divided by 30.48. Then you can get it. That is a value in the format of the feet. Okay, now if I try to run it. So let me stop this previous process and let me go ahead and running this program. It is asking that the height in centimeters. Okay, I'm going to enter this 175 something. But what's happened? Can you understand this? What about this error? Cell in the number 9. Yes, this is the cell number 9. Line number 3. Yes, line number 3. It is having some issue. So what is that issue? Type error. Unsupported operand type. Operand. So here this is the one operand and this is another operand. And this is the operator. So this operand, it is saying that str and float. Yes, this is the float. But what about this height in centimeters? It is saying that string. I got this point now. Can you give me that? What is exactly this error? So whatever the user he is entering that through the input function is going to return the value in the format of the string. But actually what we are expecting here, we are performing arithmetic operation with the division is nothing but here we are expecting that this is a either integer or float we are expecting that. Yes, good. So now the problem or point what we have this is, so input function is going to return the string, but string I cannot use it in the operation. Now I need to convert the string into that float, then float value I can use it within this arithmetic operation. Are you clear about this point? These are all, I mean, the basic things, very, very important. If you'd like to become the strong in the program, Yeah, the first you need to have that like yeah, there are like a data types. On the data types. Yes, see the function we are using, the function you are using is nothing but that is having that some operation, and once the operation has been completed, it is returning some value. Yes, this input function, okay, it is taking that the input argument, that is a string, you can pass it, and it is a prompting for the user to enter that the value that is internally defined input function by the Python. But whatever the value the user is entering that in the console, that is returning in the format of the string. That is a function which has been designed. But I don't want the string, but I need that the float here to perform that. The float we need to have it. So here what we can call this one is, this one we say that typecasting. So this is the typecasting. String to that we are converting into that float. But how do I convert into that? Yes, you can use it that in the input function. What we are expecting that? So this input function is going to return the string. That string we are converting into the float. That float value we are going to assign the float value we are going to assign to the variable. Yeah, convert one data type into that another data type. That's we say that typecasting. So that input function is returning the string, but the string we are converting into that as per about our operation requirement, we need to convert into that the float. Yes, that's we are converting. Now this input is going to return that the string we are converting into the float. And now let me run this program. Enter your height in centimeters. Yes, okay, let's take it 182 some value. And if I enter it, yes, now you see that we didn't get that any error. Now it is performed that into the feet, that is a 5.9 feet. And in the float representation, you see that they're all like the characters which is showing that. It is not just a 5.9. It is just going to give that like in the float point of view, the float arithmetic operations point of view. So almost how many bytes? 12 to 16 bytes it is written in that. I'll talk about this one, bytes format. Are you clear about this one? I got this point. Typecasting. Okay, let me do this one more small activity on the integer data type. Suppose year which you are born it, the user has to enter it. So we are going to take it from the input. So I enter about or what is what year which you born it. Okay, what year? What you born? Okay, user is going to enter that his year. But now we need to print it his age. So how do you do that? How do you get into that? Sorry, let me. I don't want that. Okay, so let's enter that now. Let's go for that printing. So by this 2 in 2023. So what is the age? His age? You will be. Yeah, so what do we need to do that? 2023 minus his born. Which year born? That's we need to deduct it. Yes, this is the operation. So we're just today's date, we are just comparing that. And you have the years old. So now if you are running this program, okay, now it is asking us the born. which year? Okay, let's take it something 1996. Then if I enter it. Okay, again here also the problem. What is the problem? Unsupported operand type for integer and string. Yeah, so here here we have given integer, but this is the year born, the variable is and the string. What do we need to do that now? Can you give me that answer in the chart window? So here what it is expecting? Integer, but actually this input function is returning. Yes. So typecasting into that int, we need to convert it. Yesterday we were talking that integer data type. Integer data type to use it int. Float data type to use it float. String point of view str. There all the functions are available. Now we are typecasting string to that int. Now if I run this program, what year you were born? Okay, 1996. And in 2023, you will be 27 years old. Yeah, now it has been taken that string converting into that integer, and that integer value has been used in the operation. Are you getting my points? So how do we use the typecasting? Have understood this typecasting? So this is about especially changing the data types. One data type to another data type. Okay, this is one more important thing which we need to understand that. Yeah, so here 2 points try to get it done. So what are the 2 points we are trying to understand is, one is don't hard code that the values in the program, but instead of hard coding, what we are trying to do that is we are taking the values of the variables we are taking from the user input. But how do you take that the values from the user? Yes, input function. Okay, we have defined that input and we are good. But what is that the input function is doing that? Yes, input function is taking that the argument and it is going to providing that interaction in the console, and the user, whatever the value or whatever the text he is entering, that it is returning in the format of the string, and that string which will be assigned to the variable. But string, can we use it in all the operations? No. Suppose here in these arithmetic operators, we don't want to use the string, but here we need to use the integer. But input function is going to return in the format of the string, but I need to use it that value in the format of the float. So how do you do that? Yes, you can convert that one data type into another data type. Yes, the input function is returning the string, but I need that value converting into the float. But how do I convert it is, yes, you can use the float function, int function, or str function. Like this functions, inbuilt functions are available. We can use it to these data type functions, and we can convert from one format to another format. Are you clear about this? The very, very important concepts. Because these are all we are trying to understand how the interpreter is going to work it. These are all like a Python interpreter, how it is going to work it internally. We are trying to get those concepts. Okay, so now next, if you move into that, suppose, let me take it this. Yeah, user inputs. I'm going to save this one and I will use it one more notebook. Another important concepts in the arithmetic. that is order of operators. Yeah, let me. This is also one more important concept. So what is this concept? Suppose if I try to give this something 2 plus 3 into 2. What is the value? Can you type in the chart window? What is the value of this operation? Is it 8 or is it 10? Yeah, I see that some people are saying that 10 and I see that some people are saying that 8. Which one is that answer, 8 or 10? Okay, good. The point here it is, so this one we say that order of precedence. So if I try to run this program, so we got it that output as a 8. Why it is 8? So actually arithmetic operators will be performed left to right or right to left? Left to right. Suppose if I use it something minus here, then 2 plus 3, 5, 5 minus 2, 3. Yes, we got the 3. But if I use it something asterisk, then it has been changed. So first it is performing that 3 twos, then it is adding to this one. So arithmetic operators usually start from left to right. But whenever those are all performing that left to right, precedence of that operator also it is going to check me that. Precedence of that operator. Plus minus are having that lower precedence than asterisk and division. Yeah, order of precedence, if I just noted that. Order of operators. So let me just quickly give that. Which one is having that the high priority is? What about this operator? What is the purpose of this one? Anyone? That is about power off. Power off is going to have that high precedence than remaining arithmetic operators. Power off. Not factorial, that is a power off. Next operators, asterisk, and we are talking about it, standard divisions, integer divisions, and then modulus. These are all having that second priority. So whenever it is going to running that arithmetic operator, first it is going to check it that power off is it defined anything or not. If the power off is not there, then it is going to check it about it asterisk or division or yeah standard division or integer division or modulus. Which one is that? Which one is having that? So that statement is going to take that high precedence. Yeah, power off is not there. Okay, then it is moving to that asterisk or standard division or integer division or modulus. Yes, asterisk we have that. That means this statement is going to execute in the first. So 6. Then third, what is that like operator? The plus or plus and minus notations, which are going to use it as a least precedence. Yeah, whenever you are evaluating that, that's the arithmetic operators, you need to keep these points in the mind. So interpreter, how it is going to do internally? So first it is going to give the priority to this one. Suppose I have that the 2 power of something 2. Then what is the value we are going to have it? Is it going to perform now this statement or is it this statement? Now, can you give me that value? Mm. 26, how did you get it? I got it 26 also in the chart window, but how did you get the 26? Yeah, 14, I see that. So first interpret, let me run that. Yes, first interpreter, what it is going to do that instead of giving the priority to this one, so it is going to give the priority now to this operator. This operator left operand and right operand, it is going to take it and first it execute this statement. That is 2 power of the 2, that is a 4. Okay, 3 into 4, 12. After that it is coming to, that's 2 plus 12, that is a 14. 14, it has been written that. Yeah, whenever you are analyzing the statement, whenever you open the Python program and whenever you are analyzing the statement, and if you see that the statement with these kind of arithmetic operators, think it about it. So this is the first priority. So if you find this operator, yes, left operand and right operand, first to convert into that. And then, so this result, use it to the second, the precedence, and then third precedence. Yeah, this is very, very the important understanding about it. But suppose my requirement is, so it has to execute first this one, then later about this one. Then how do you manage that? Now here it has to execute the first statement. Then after executing this statement, then okay, it has to be given that the precedence based operator. So then in that cases, you can use it parenthesis. Yes, you can encode it that with the parenthesis. So then now the Python interpreter is going to give that high precedence to this one rather than on the operators. Now, if you see this, what is the output we are going to have it? The 5 into 2 power of the 2. That means 2 power of the 2. First, it is going to perform it. That is, here it is 5. And here it is the 4. 5 into 4. That is 20. You got it the point now? Here about this order of precedences. Whenever we are executing that, the operators. This is very, very important. Confirm that everyone. So are you good with this? Are you following the points? These are all like arithmetic operators we are talking that, and inputs. Yes, you can assign the value to the variable within the program, or we can ask the user to enter the particular input. But what is the function is available? Inbuilt function is the input, but input function takes that argument and it returns that value, the user, whatever he is entering that is going to return in the format of the string. But on that, the input variable, if you like to perform some operations, then you need to use the typecasting mechanism. See how much the programming terminology, programming understanding that we started the basic. But objective is whenever we open that, the Python script, how you are understanding that is important. Okay, implementation, later story. You can, if you just browse it in the Google, you will get the solution. The Python script, sample scripts. But whenever you are understanding that the Python script, what about your interpreter knowledge on the Python? Interpreter, how it is going to perform internally, if you are able to analyze it, you are the good analyzation of the programmer and you are suitable for the troubleshooting activities in the infrastructure. But if you like to become the good troubleshooter without running the program, how you are analyzing that the programming output is very, very important. Yes, if I share this statement to you, without running, you should able to analyze it. Okay, first this statement is going to execute it. That is a 5 into 2 into power of this 2. Okay, next this is going to give the priority, that is a 4. That is a 5 into 4, that is a 20. Yes, without running the program, because so in all the cases we cannot run the program. These are all like a single line of the statements. We are running the program and we are seeing that output. But in the real-time environment, if you would like to see this, what exactly is happening, that you cannot run the program. Some cases you cannot, but you should be able to analyze it. And on the basis of that analyzation, you need to change the code. Then you need to test it with all the possible cases. Yeah, so these are like analyzation point of view are helping that on the integers and as well as operators, that is arithmetic operators. And those arithmetic operators, the precedence. Okay, so here let me talk it that one more small point on the floating points, which we need to understand that. Suppose if I try to print that the float value, yes, no issues. I have given that the float, and it is written that interpreter also written that the float value. And if I go for that, yes, integer value. Okay, if I enter that the 1, if I execute this program, 1 has been written that. Okay, command man. So what is this? Right? You are just giving that and it is printing. What is the magic here? There is no magic, right? But now you see there's a magic. Okay, let me go ahead here. Suppose float, I'm going to use it. I'm going to adding that 0.1 plus 0.1. Now, what is that output we are expecting that? And here, if I say this, so what is that output we are expecting that? This is I'm using the float, and here I'm using that integer. Okay, good. So 0.23, and here the value is 3. Yes, obviously. But here, if you see that it is not written that 0.23, so it is written that the float, one of the bytes we have that the internally, the float, whenever you define it, it is going to allocating some memory for it, the background bits and bytes. So yes, normally we say that this is a value 0.23, but interpreter, how it is going to return that the value. So as per that internal background, what are the bits which have been allocated? What are the bits that have been allocated? Bits and bytes, the storage point of view. So it is going to show in this format. This is not about your program fault, or this is not about your, yes, our code is good. This is the Python interpreter internally going to use this format. But in the integers, we don't see any difference at all. It is written that as we are expecting that the 3. But here also, okay, 0.3, that is correct. But it is going to give that all the bits which are used for this float to store it in the memory. That is one point to remember that. So don't get surprised about it whenever you are running the float operators. It gives that in the 12-bit representation. So this is the Python limitation we have that. So that is not about our syntax issues and nothing. So that is about the Python float representation. Is it clear the point? Okay, now can you give me some answers quickly? So what is the output we are going to have it for this? Can you give me that output? I'm expecting that output of this one. I see that 4, 36, 256. Okay. Some people 36, 256, 12, 64. Okay, different answers, but only single statement. But why we have those different answers? This is one more magic. See, normally we are talking about it arithmetic operators. That is left to right, right? Arithmetic operators will perform that, as we're understanding, left to right. But if we use it at the power of, it is going to use it right to left. The Python interpreter, how it is going to perform that, the evaluation, only power off. If I give that the one more power off, suppose something 2, and if I execute it, you see that the value. So first this will be 3 power of 2. Then 2 power of 9. 2 power of 9. Then whatever the value we are getting, then 2 power of that value. 2 power of 9, something 36,000, 32,000 something. I mean, I'm not sure. I need to calculate, but just observe that. So first this one, this result will be applied to this one. Then this result will be applied to this one. Or if I remove that, you can easily understand it. That's last statement, 256. Why it is 256? 2 power 3, that is 8. 2 power 8. 2 power 8 is 256. Okay, 2 power 9. Okay, 2 power 9, that is 5 total, sorry. Are you clear about this on the power of operator? So normal arithmetic operators left to right. But here what it is doing? Right to left. This is one more small magic in the arithmetic operators. Are you following the points? So what do we understand? So here operators precedence, here we are trying to understand it. And yeah, like parenthesis will be given that high priority, right? Now which one is a high priority? Parenthesis. The next priority is power off. Next one is asterisk, that is standard deviation or integer deviation or like modulus. Then third precedence which will be having the plus minus. But this will be executed left to right. But if we use it the power of statements, then it is going to execute it right to left. See that if you miss that one statement, whenever you are analyzing the program, troubleshooting point of view, so you should, without running, you should be able to get that output. Then you can say that you are the good programmer. First of all, at least writing, leave it off it. Whether you are able to understand that existing program or not, whether you are able to think like as an interpreter or not, that is very, very important. If you would like to become the good programmer, if I write it one statement, so without executing, what is the output we are going to get in that? That is important. So now these days, getting that the program is not the big deal through Google. But once you got the program, how you are thinking about that line by line statement is very, very important. Yes, good. So this is about order of precedence, understanding. And a float, yes, how it is going to manage it, internal storage of for the float. Yes, it is going to use it almost. How many bits here? 4 plus 4, 8. Almost 16 bits it is going to use it. Yeah, the 16. That means 2 bytes. 2 bytes. 1 byte equal to how many bits? Now, if you have the fresher, they're all very, very important. 1 byte is equal to how many bits? 8 bits. And in that, like normal memory representation, bits will be stored in the format of 0 or the 1 representation. Bit. It's normally whatever we are interacting here. Yes, this is a text format. Whenever it is storing on the hard disk, or whenever it is transferring over the network from one device to another device, if you are transferring the data, all the data that will be converted into 0-1 representation. That's we say that binary representation. So here one more format which we are trying to understand, binary, which is having in the format of that 0-1 representation. Okay, we are talking about it 1 byte equal to 8 bits. But what is that 1 kilobyte? 1 KB is equal to KB in the sense kilobyte, right? Then how many bytes? Anyone? Yeah, that is about 1000 bytes. 1000 bytes is nothing but 8000 bits. Like that's 1 MB is nothing but 1 megabytes. That is equal to. So this has to be multiplied into 1000, right? Yes, 1000 KB is equal to 1 megabytes. How many of you know all these things? Just use the thumbnail and confirm that. I would like to just check it because next, whenever you are moving into the programming storage, how it is going to, yes, like disk, the data representation, network data representation, they're all the important things. If you have the more clarity, then you can understand that. Okay, we always say that whenever we are buying the storage, we say that 1 gigabyte. But what is that 1 gigabyte? That is 1000 megabytes. What is 1000 megabytes? That is 1000 into 1000 kilobytes. What is the kilobyte? 1 kilobyte is equal to 1000 bytes. What is a byte? That represents 8 bits. Yeah, so 1 GB is equal to 1000 MB. So this is like a bits and bytes representation, just to have it a little bit idea. So these are all going to helpful that in the next some more operators. So what are those operators? Now let me continue to this. The next statement, yeah, that is about code. Suppose, yes, in our operators, we have another type of operators, that is logical operators. Logical operators. Yes. Increment, decrement, okay, that's already we discussed, but logical operators. Let me represent it. Ampersand, we have another one which we have that, yes, that is R pipe symbol. And this one, what do we call it? And this one we say that R. And we have this the next operator, not operator or character operator. So what about this one, caret? So this one we say that exclusive OR, XOR. And another notation that is not. But what about this not? I will come back to that. So this one we say not operator. And next one we have the says left shift, right shift operators. Yeah, these are all like some more the special characters are available in the Python, which are helping to perform some logical operators or exclusive OR operators, or we can say that the bits converting into that, bits changing that, the left shift and right shift. Normally, this is the lesser scope to use it, but yes, understanding. Suppose if you are going to attending that written exams, or any test you are going to take it, that in the tests they use it mostly these types of operators, and what is going to happen that internally, can you give me that output of it? But in the real time there is a lesser scope to use it, this left and right shift in the programs. But if you're going to face that, as we are talking about it, certification programs, PCEP, PCAP, entry level programming and associate level programming, yes, in that certification they are going to ask the bitwise operators. So what about these one by one symbol? Let's move into that understanding all these the operators. Suppose I have that like let me represent two variables here. I'm going to comment all this stuff. I'm not going to remove that. If I remove it, then you don't get the reference. So I'm just giving that in the notebook itself. Okay, I'm going to take the two variables. That is the first bit equal to, I'm going to use it as a 1. And the second, the bit, I'm going to use it as a 0 or 1 or whatever it is. Now I'd like to use that, the print statement, print of first bit, and operator I will use it second bit. Now if I use it and, what's going to happen that? Sorry. Yeah, so now if I use it the first bit, what's going to happen that? And this is typo, right? Okay, what is going to happen that? The first bit and second bit. Here I'm using that AND operator. Anyone? AND operator? So first bit value is 1, second bit value is a 0. First bit and the second bit, what is the value? No, that is not 1 or not 1 and 0. It is going to return that 0. Why it is 0? Let me use it. Let me show the something here. So this is, we are talking about it, logical AND operator. Logical AND operator. So in the logical AND, what is going to happen? The says, I'm just going to represent a first operand, the first, second operand, and a result value. Suppose first bit equal to 0 and second bit equal to 0. So what is the result you are going to have it? That is 0. First bit is 1, second bit is 0. Then what is the result? Logical AND. What is the logical AND is going to return that? 0. Suppose first bit is 0, second bit is 1. Then what is the value? 0. Then first bit is 1 and second bit is also 1. Final, the result is 1. Yes, this is about logical AND operator. If both bits are the 1, then the result is going to become the 1. But remaining all the cases, it is going to return the 0. That's why we got it. So here first bit we have given that the 1, second bit is 0. One of the bit is 0, then obviously the result is going to become the 0. Suppose if I change the second bit to 1, then if I run that, now we see that we got it that the 1 value. Or if I change the first bit to 0, what is the value? Type that quickly. Logical and very, very important. These are all like if you have this the computer's background and computer organization, that is CO. CO is one subject. So in that subject, you are going to have it all these logical and logical or exclusive or. So if you like to know this next data science level and all that, they're all very, very important. The data magic. Yeah, so 0, 1. So obviously that is going to become the 0. This is about logical AND. Both are 1, then only it is going to return that the 1. In remaining all the cases, that is 0. Are you clear about this? Logical AND? How do we represent the logical AND? Ampersand. Now let me move into that. Next, logical OR operator. So now we are going to use it. Logical OR. How do we represent? What is the symbol for it? OR symbol. Pipeline. Now if I use it, pipeline here, what's going to happen? That. Yeah, now the return value is, what is the return value here? 1, it is going to return that. Now, suppose if I mark it like 1 bit is 0, then what's going to happen that here? Here I was using AND. Here I am using OR. What's going to happen to that OR? First bit is 0, second bit is 1. What's going to happen that? If I execute this, that is also 1. Suppose first bit is 0, second bit is also 0. What's going to happen that? Yeah, now I'm getting that some responses from some of the people. Yeah, that is going to become the 0. So what is the logic behind here it is? Let me show that. So I'm going to use this one as markdown. Logical OR. First bit is 0, second bit is 0. Yes, obviously the 0. And remaining all the cases, suppose if any one of the bit is 1, then automatically this is going to become the 1. If the first bit is 1, second bit is 0, doesn't matter that is going to become the 1. First bit is 0, but second bit is 1. Yes, the result is 1. And first bit is 1, second bit is 1. Obviously, this is 1. But if the both bits are the 0, then only it is going to become the 0. Remaining all the cases 1. But whatever the logical AND, if both are the 1, 1. Remaining all the cases, that is 0. Are you getting the points about it? Logical AND and logical OR. These are all the concepts in shell script also. You will be having the same concepts. Even if you are going to learn that the Java, yes, you have these concepts. These concepts are not specific to the Python. But Python, how do we use that? Yes, this is the operator. But in the shell script, we use the double ampersand. That is the only difference. But remaining background interpreters, logical AND and logical OR, that is the universal functionality. That is not just only the Python functionality. The logical and the logical OR, these are all like computer internal bit and bytes have been organized like this. Are you clear this logical and logical OR? Type this in the chat window. Have understood this logical and logical OR? Okay, good. Let's move into this next. Exclusive OR. So we are going to talk about that exclusive OR. First of all, let me explain this. What is the exclusive OR? Then I'll come back to the program execution. So I'm going to convert this one as a markdown. So what is this logic? I mean, exclusive OR is okay. Whenever we have the first bit, the second bit, both are the 0, then it is going to become the 0. Whenever the first bit and second bit both are the 1, then it is going to become the 0. But if either one of the bit is 1, then it is going to become the 1. This is the exclusive OR, and what is the symbol which we use? It is caret notation. So ampersand, this is for logical and pipe symbol, this is for logical OR. Now we are going to talk it that one more, that is exclusive OR, that is caret symbol. Now let me show some examples on this. Yes, first bit, second bit, I'm going to taking, and I'm going to use the caret symbol here between the first variable and second variable. Now, what is the value of this one? If I execute this program, so what is the value we are expecting that? What I have shown, both are the 0, then we are expecting 0. Both are the 0, then these are all the 0. If one of the bit is 1, one of the bit is 1, then what is the value? It is going to return the 1. Now you see this, I'm using the character. But if I use the AND, what is the value? Can you give me that? Is it the 0 or 1? Come on, man. Be active. First bit is 1, second bit is 0. What's going to happen that in the logical AND? That is 0. If both bits are 1, then what is the value? Yes, that is 1. Suppose here if I use it OR, what is going to happen that? Both bits are the 1. Then what's going to happen that? Yes, 1. And here if I use it exclusive OR, what's going to happen that? Yeah, both are the 1. Yes, it is going to reverse way, that is 0. Either both are the 0 or both of the 1, exclusive OR is going to return the 0. But either one of the 1, either bit is the 1, then it is going to return the 1. Are you clear this exclusive OR? 0, 0, 1, 1. Then it is going to become the 0. But either bit is the 1, then it is going to become the 1. That is exclusive OR. The interpreter is designed like this. Just think it in the internal programming wise. So the Python, whenever they were designing that interpreter, they have designed like this. If you use this character between the two bits, I'm going to use it internally. If we pass that, if this bit is 0, this bit is 0, I'm going to return that the value as a 0. Or if you pass that the first bit is 1, second bit is a 0 with this exclusive OR, then I'm going to return that the final result as a 1. They're all like a designing. Are you clear on this third operator? That is exclusive OR. Okay, next, the one more operator, that is not. Let me show that. So what's going to happen? We are going to talk it here. Not. This one we say that logical not. This is the logical not. What's going to happen there? So if I apply this on one variable with logical, suppose I have the some x value. So a logical not, what's going to happen? That is going to return that minus x with the minus 1. This is the Python, the function which has been implemented for this notation. Suppose if I give the value something like first number, only one number, you cannot apply that on the multiple numbers. Suppose let me take it that, okay, the first number, something 0. Then what is the result? What is the result? Just to replace that. So 0 here, minus 0, minus 1. What is the value? Yes, that is going to return the minus 1. Suppose if I give that the 1, what is the value of this one? So minus 1 and minus 1. So that is minus 2. And if I give like that something 2, then what's going to happen there? So minus of that number, minus 1. Then minus 2, minus 1. That is going to become the minus 3. Yeah, so this is the representation which we have the same not operator, logical not operator by the Python. Now let me show that that's the programming approach. Let me take it the code. So we need that only one bit. We don't need that multiple bits here. And if I apply that logical not on that, the bit, then we'll see this output. Yes, I passed that's 1. Then what is that output we got? It is, yes, 1 is nothing but that is a minus 2. Minus 1, minus 1, minus 2. Or if I pass that, the here something 5. What is the value? Yes, that is minus 6. If I pass it the 100, what is going to happen then? Minus 100, minus 1. Is it clear about that? Logical not operator. So overall, these operators, okay, here we have left shift and right shift. We'll talk it just tomorrow. But the remaining concepts, if you just observe that logical and logical or logical, exclusive or, and this is logical not. So what is the logical and? In which context that is one? In which context that is one? Come on, man. Yeah, both are the 1, then that is 1, remaining all the cases 0. Simple. Then what about this one? Or in which context is 0? Then if you remember that, remaining all are 1. Yes. So in which context is 0? If you remember that, remaining all context, that is 1. If the both are the 0, then it is going to become the 0. In other context, that is going to become the 1. And here, easily to remember that, both are the 1, remaining all the context, that is 0. And here, both are the 0, that is 0, remaining all the context, that is 1. That is the reverse of it. And exclusive are, if both are the 0 or both are the 1, then it is going to become the 0. If reverse case, that is 1 bit is 1, either one of the bit is 1, then it is going to become the 1. That is we are talking that. If either one of the bit is 1, then it is going to become the 1. But if the both are the same, so here 0, 0, both are the same, then it is going to become the 0. So here 1, 1, both are the same, then it is going to become the 0. If the reverse, then it is going to become the 1. Reverse bits is going to return the 1. That is exclusive OR. Next, one more operator, what we are talking that, not. What is not representation? Normally we think about that true is going to become the false, false is going to become the true. But in Python, how the interpreter is going to work it on this logical not. So if I apply this on logical not on this number, then minus of that number minus 1, right? So if I apply this, that's on that particular number, minus of that number and minus 1. Means you need to add it minus 1. So this is all about understanding some logical bitwise operators, but we have 2 more, left shift and right shift. So what exactly is going to happen that in the left shift and right shift, that's we'll talk it tomorrow. Are you following this, everyone? Suppose if I conclude that today, order of operators, that is one thing which we are understanding. Yeah, these are all very, very important. And then internal float, how it is going to manage it. Yes, float, it is allocating the 16 bits. 16 bits is nothing but 2 bytes of the data. So one float variable you have defined is nothing but backend in the memory, it is going to use the 2 bytes of the memory. That is just some small representation. And then bitwise operators, or these are all like logical operators. Arithmetic operators we are understanding. Now we understood some of the logical operators on the integers. Yeah, in interviews, like are you going to attend that the exams? So these are all small. So they ask you like this, and what is the output you are going to have it. So by mistake, if you go this way, left to right, then you are gone. That bit is gone. So what is the point? Power of it has to be right to left. But remaining all the arithmetic operators, left to right. But on the base of this, the precedence of the operators, it is going to executing that. But in that statement, if you have this like the value which is, these are all like arithmetic formulas. This is Baud formula, something which we say that. This is about the first preference to the parenthesis. Then power of operator. Then asterisk or logical, that is standard divisions or integer divisions or the modulus, these operators. And finally, plus minus. This is about precedence and operators. Are you clear all this stuff for today? And we are understanding user inputs. In that user inputs, typecasting. So instead of hard coding the values in the program, sometimes there is a possibility to read the values from the user. But how do we read the values from the user? You can use the input function. Fine, good. But input is the function is returning that the value, the user value in the format of the string. But you need to use it that input some cases in the arithmetic operators. But how do we convert that string into that float or integer? That is we are trying to understand that. These are all we can say that converting one data type to another data type, we call it as typecasting. Use that word, that is important. See, you are making that like the one by one daily, if you just follow that all these terminologies, you are good on the program. First, at least forget about that. How do you write the program? But first of all, whenever I see this particular program, whether I am able to understand that from the first statement to that last statement, that is the first agenda. Forget about it writing the code. So if you know the specific requirement and if you search it in the Google, you will get the code. But after getting the code, how you are understanding that example, that is important. If you are in that position, you are good. These days, reusability of the code is very, very important. Instead of writing from the scratch, nobody will expect that writing from the scratch. But existing code, if I give it to you, or you join to that existing project, already in the project, we have some code or some files, whether you are able to understand it and analyze it, those files or not, that is important. Very good. So give me that thumb impression for today's how you are good with that. Then I will wind up for today and we'll make do this tomorrow. So today we understand that bits, bytes, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, and then input values. Instead of hard coding that the variable values, that is one thing. Then we are understanding that operators, arithmetic operators, precedence, that is one more concept, and bitwise operators. Yeah, any queries, questions, please let me know. Already uploaded. Yesterday's video also uploaded. Yeah, by maximum by evening you will get it that. But yesterday's one I have already uploaded. Yesterday itself I uploaded at around 9:30. Yeah, so here this is a integer data type. And I have attached the notebooks also here. Yeah, any queries, questions? Are you good for today? No, I cannot give that confirmation by 5 p.m. But end of the day, I'll make sure it because I'll be having that other activities. So I need to, this is not just directly copy and paste that. So we need to upload to the servers. So it takes some time for me. I cannot give that confirmation, but maximum by end of the day, I'll try to complete it. Okay, good. Thank you all. So that's all from my side. I'm going to log off for today, and tomorrow we'll meet it and we'll continue with some more the operators and yes, the string and all that will come back. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.